Welcome back. While a time for many to celebrate with loved ones, for others the holidays can be a challenging time, with some struggling with loneliness and others overwhelmed by the pressures of the season. Joining me now is Dr. Marin Antony, Professor in the Department of Psychology and Director of the Anxiety Research and Treatment Lab at Toronto Metropolitan University. A Merry Christmas to you, Doctor, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me here.
So for people who feel anxious about holidays and holiday parties and family gatherings, what's one simple strategy they can use to make these events feel more manageable?
So I guess one suggestion I would have is to try to keep things in perspective. So to ask themselves questions, what am I predicting is going to happen right now? And what is the likelihood of that actually happening? And what if that does happen? Does it matter as much as it feels like it matters? The reality is the holidays, there is a lot of pressure. I think most people feel that pressure. Normalizing that, recognizing that some of that pressure is a normal thing that a lot of people experience can be helpful as well, but also recognizing that the holidays are over even more quickly than they arrive. The buildup seems to be for months, and then within a day or two it's over. And a lot of these things that feel like they really matter, whether the dinner is perfect, whether I say the right thing at the party, the consequences of those things not going perfectly are not as severe as what people expect.
You use the word perfect, so I'm going to talk about that. That pressure of everything being perfect, the perfect food for a party, the perfect gifts, the perfect clothes, the perfect family time. How does all of that, of everything being perfect, affect the mental health of people?
So perfectionism and the sort of need to have things perfect can affect people in different ways. So what we think about from a research perspective is the motivation for the perfectionism. So if people want to do a good job just because it feels good and they enjoy it, they enjoy doing well, then that kind of perfectionism or high standards that come in that context are fine. On the other hand, if it's being driven by a fear of failure or a fear of being judged by others, that's when the perfectionism can be associated with problems like anxiety and depression and a range of other mental health issues when it's happening in a severe kind of way.
I want to talk about kids for a minute. There are instances, Doctor, when parents are surprised when their child is suddenly afraid of, for example, even Santa. Why does that happen? And how should parents respond to a situation like that?
So children are often afraid of things that are just unfamiliar or different from what they encounter in their everyday life. So it may be Santa Claus, but children are often afraid of clowns. If they go to Disney World, they may be terrified of people in Mickey Mouse outfits. So it's not just Santa Claus. And I think the best way for parents to respond is to not make a big deal of it, to be honest. The reality is all children outgrow their fear of Santa. There are no adults who are afraid of Santa Claus. And it's a normal thing to have happen when children are young, sort of age 2, 3, 4 in that range. And personally, I wouldn't feel the need to sort of force a child to be exposed to that, because it's not something that's going to really interfere with their life in a day-to-day way, and they're probably going to outgrow it.
Okay, we'll have to leave it at that then. Dr. Marin Antony, Professor in the Department of Psychology and Director of the Anxiety Research and Treatment Lab at Toronto Metropolitan University. Thank you for your time and have a great day ahead.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.